Prativanti titani cha yatreva pasamamayanti tasmai satyatane namah. Jnata jnanam tatha jnayam drashta darsana desabhu karta hetu kriya jasmat tasmai jnapyatane namah. Churante sikara jasmat Ananda Sambhare Vano Sarve Sam Jivanam Tasmai Brahmananda Tvane Namaha Brahmananda Tvane Namaha Vedo Dadhim Samanvatya Jnanaratnam Samudritam Yena Tasmai Vasisthaya Guruna Gurave Namaha. Vashistha Bhagavan ki jai, Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai, Satchidananda Bhagavan ki jai, Sabda Brahma ki jai, Saraswati Maharani ki jai, Yoga Vashistha Bhagavan ki jai. Hari Om. Last time we were discussing on the meditation on prana and apana. So when you pay your attention on the movement of your prana and apana, you will come across the junction between the two, the gap between the two, that is known as kumbhaka, and that is known as the steadiness state of steadiness, kumbhaka. They are neither prana nor apana work. Of course, prana and apana are steady there. They are not working for a fraction of a second. Yet, they have the tendency to act. That cannot be denied. So, after a moment, they start working again, moving again. That is how the movement goes on. And in every movement, there is also a juncture. So, this gap or the space between the two is continuous. When you meditate on that gap, that kumbhak, that means in other words, when the kumbhak is continued, then you are unaware of the prana and apana, though they will be moving from inside to outside and outside to inside. But at that particular steady posture, steady state, there is no in and out, there is no movement, nothing is aware of. Then yogi remains in samadhi, and that is continuous, and that becomes common, very common for the yogi. Though the prana will be doing its work, prana changes into apana, and apana changes into prana. Inside breath goes outside, and outside breath comes inside. All these are going on continuously, yet that steady state, kumbhaka, is also continuously experienced by the yogi. Both goes
in hand in hand.
Side by side. This is possible, that is what happens. Now we were discussing on the eternal life of the yogi Kakabusandi. How it is possible, though he will be experiencing the creation and dissolution again and again. What happens to the body? That means to the idea of the body, existence of the body in the end of the creation, how it remains as it is, or it dissolves. If it dissolves, then from it again it comes to the body position, or how it can come if it dissolves once for all in the absolute truth, then how it can again come back the same identity can come from the absolute to body sense, how it can come again and again. This was our question, and we were discussing on it. He was giving Vashistha power. Bhushanji was giving explanation on it to Vashistha. It is possible. Of course, the process followed is pranayama. He started with meditating on prana and apana, outgoing and incoming breathing system, and slowly, with continuous effort and self-effort, continuously, slowly, gradually, he entered into samadhi state, that means continuous state of steadiness, kumbhak, and in the end he merges in the absolute truth, the absolute equilibrium. Absolute state means absolute equilibrium, where is no possibility no expectation, no hope of any action. That means movement. No movement, no creation, no dissolution. So naturally, if you can hold this in your intellect, it doesn't mean the creation will not start and there will not be any dissolution. Why? Because creation and dissolution is not real. It is only imaginary. The creation starts in the very beginning, it starts only by imagination. There arose some idea in the absolute truth. Just as you see some cloud in the clear sky, all of a sudden, in autumn sky, in the evening time, you see a patch of cloud appears slowly and again it disappears. Again it
Emerges.
again it appears. Again it disappears. Slowly, all of a sudden, you will get some patch of cloud somewhere else. It dissolves and it appears again. In this way, in the evening sky, yeah, at autumn time, you get little patches of clouds in the western horizon. In this way, the creations, they appear and disappear in the sky of absolute consciousness, absolute awareness. Sky means unlimited, un, unperceivable. We cannot have some definite ideas on sky, how big it is, how deep it is, or how much it can hold. No such ideas we can have. It is infinite, unlimited. In this way, if you can understand this elementary sky, which we think we see, though we don't know what is sky really, yet we know the sky. It is blue, it is endless, it is all pervading. All pervading has no sense, no meaning. Because we cannot say anything, that's why we have to say something, which is meaninglessly some meaningful, little meaningful. Meaninglessly little meaningful. In this way, the elementary sky is subtlemost element among these five: sky, air, fire, water, and earth. And still subtler than this elementary sky is the idea of the sky that holds that sky, elementary sky. The idea of the sky is still subtler than this sky, and it holds the sky. So that is called Vasana Akash.
This idea sky holds the this
Elementary sky. Yes. Or else there is no sky.
This is
Swamiji, can we imagine this world in the absence of sky?
Pardon?
In the absence of sky?
Absent of sky.
Sky. Can we imagine this world?
No. Because there is no, we cannot imagine what is the absence of the sky. Because it is all
No
present,
space, no space.
ever present and everywhere present. So we cannot imagine what is absence of sky.
Then there is no world at all.
we can't deny the existence of sky. We
We
can't,
cannot deny
because
it.
it's present everywhere.
Yes. So there will be some idea of sky that is called ideal sky. And that is the holder or the substratum for this so-called sky which we visualize. Now, still subtler than this idea of the sky is awareness of the idea of the sky. Be careful. Be attentive to note the words. The awareness of the idea which holds the sky.
That awareness should be more subtle than idea.
Surely,
Surely.
that is called consciousness sky. Chidakas. Chidakas. And that is so subtle, there is no possibility of any qualities. No qualities. It is beyond all qualities. Beyond time and space, space is called sky. Ether or sky, somewhat. Words are some meaninglessly meaningful. It gives some ideas, but no 100% clarity. So now that awareness is all pervading, ever present, and all powerful. It can hold everything. It can behold everything. It can reject anything or accept anything. We cannot say anything about it. Now, if one merges in that absolute consciousness sky, that means in the absolute truth, can it come again to exist with a form and a name? Can it come? Just as I gave the example, just as the sky is completely blue and completely spotless, clear, and the autumn midday. Where from you get some patches of clouds in the sky? Where from it comes? Where does it go? So it appears and disappears. It is only somewhat as if it appears. There is no really something which can be called as a cloud. Cloud is nothing but thick or less thick or some vapors, some mist. It appears and disappears. Now, from this example, you can understand little. Though one merges in the absolute consciousness, yet the same creation, same or different, we cannot define it. Some creation appears and disappears just as some cloud, passing clouds. This is one example you can understand from this angle very little. Creations will be going on innumerably without expecting any support from the absolute truth. There is no need of any support. But yet, we have to say, because that absolute presence is there, we see something which is not real presence of the truth. Something else we imagine. This is how imaginary creations. And in these creations, again, anything can be imagined. So if there was some particular identity before, it can be reimagined in the present creation. Understood now? If there was some identity before, some particular identity, which is no more now, again it can be imagined in the same way. There is no
Because it is imagination only.
imagination. The same thing can be imagined. That's why it is said in the Vedas, Yatha Purvam Akalpayat.
Kitna pura, nobody knows.
Nobody knows how, what was before. But just as before, just as we start today's daily life, we start our life today after deep sleep. When we get up, we start our day for today. How do we start?
From previous.
We have to start just as before,
From previous day.
just as yesterday. So how long it will go on back and how long it will go on in future, nobody knows. That's why it is said, it is beyond imagination, beyond thoughts and beyond speech. One way. The other way, we can have some ideas by analytical discussions. You see, suppose we have fixed a pot, some earthen pot, we have fixed it on the ground. And we poured what is there inside. Inside will be air or sky. Now we go on putting water in it. The pot is full now. So where has gone the air and sky?
Absolute.
Where has gone the air and sky when we fill it with water?
It gets mixed with it. It's more subtle.
But as we saw before, there was only sky and air. Now we see either we see three things: air, water, and sky, or only water. Anyway, you see something. Now again, you just pour away, removed the water. What do you see? Again, the sky. Where from it came? Where from it came? If at all there will be sky, it will be. Then what sky it is? Is it before sky, the earlier sky, or it is something else? Present sky is different than the earlier sky. How can you define it? How can you identify this sky, which came again to the inside pot? Can you? It is beyond our imagination. Which sky has entered now?
Now we have to become subtle than sky, then we can define. Then, if we are subtle than sky,
It was always there. It was always there.
So how could water came in? If it was there, how much was there? Can you say how much sky was there before? And yet, when we poured some water and filled the pot, what happened to that amount of sky? That full amount of sky, what happened to it? Because it is so subtle, we cannot think anything on it. But it happens. It does happen. The sky again enters. Does it enter or does it go out? That is also beyond explanation. When we remove the water, the sky is there. When we pour the water, there is no sky.
Can we phrase sky as infinite, absolute?
That is, of course, we can. That is what
Ever present.
the last wording we can use for it.
Fullness,
Infinite or
fullness.
subtlemost or beyond imagination. These words we can just use for it.
Can we say fullness also?
Fullness will be always full. Then how can there be some other identity
Entering into it.
entering into it? See, now subtleness and solidness. How do we understand what is the reality on it? What is the reality? See, when we say there is a solid stone or iron, what do you think? What do you understand by it? There is no other element inside iron, isn't it? Oneness of the iron. That is called solidity. Nothing else can enter into iron. Then only you call it solid iron. Okay? If something enters into it, can you say it is solid? No. It is divided. Something else has entered into it. Now coming to our pot. The sky was solid or empty?
It is solid as well as empty. Full of sky.
What do you mean by solidity
Full of
or
sky.
emptiness? What do you mean? If you go to the depth of the meaning of the words become meaningless. Words become meaningless. Solidity is emptiness. Now you can agree. Solidity is emptiness. Suppose there is sky only. We remove the air. Say vacuum. Ether is there. Vacuum means there is something. What do you call it?
Fullness, emptiness, whatever it is.
Empty. If it is empty, what is the definition of emptiness? Nothing is inside there.
But there is oxygen, hydrogen, and so many chemicals are there.
No, we have removed everything.
Everything.
by scientific method. So only vacuum is there. Okay?
So emptiness is also fullness, nothingness.
I mean, still sky is there. I mean, still sky is there.
That is ether or space, we can say. Call it as you like.
So we
I
can call
don't
it solid
know.
also.
That is also solid. And solidity also can hold everything. Sky holds everything. There is no rejection of anything. Whatever comes to the sky, it holds it.
I mean, like water can hold something, and the sky is subtler than water.
Subtler than the
Air
air also.
So it can hold.
It can hold.
We can compare with water little bit.
Just as the water has the fire within it, hydroelectricity, it holds the oxygen and hydrogen. They are only fire. Water means hydrogen and oxygen.
Sufficient quantity of salt
Yes.
in ocean water.
In this way, if we see analytically, merging in the or dissolving in the absolute and coming out again from absolute as a being, it is beyond our understanding, and it happens. We have to agree. It happens. Just as the hot sky, it disappears and again appears. Sky also disappears when we fill it with some other solid matter. We don't see the sky as we saw before. Now again, when we remove the solid matter from the pot, again sky is there. So how do you say sky was absent or present in between? It is continuously there,
Ever present
ever present,
and omnipresent.
omnipresent. That is the only possible
Description of the sky.
definition of sky.
This is the way only we can describe. No other words.
No other words. So also is the case with absolute and particular identity which has reached that state, particular identity of the yogi which has reached that state. It can appear and disappear. We may say, we may not say at his will. At his will. Will means imaginarily. We can say he can appear at his will. He can disappear at his will. But will also by his willpower, that has also got no sense.
Neem Karoli Baba was doing this while he was living. Neem Karoli Baba was appearing and disappearing himself.
Not only Nimkareli Baba, so many. Our Gurudev Swami Sivananda has shown it many times.
He did not disclose.
While he was in the body,
Yes, Swami. Yes.
and when he passed his body,
Yes,
not only Swami Sivananda and Nimkaroli, many many times, many such incidents have been noticed. Real.
Real. But these are the latest
Yes.
phenomena.
So now we can agree, we have to agree that in the Samadhi state, the identity, particular identity is not there, yet it is there.
Yeah.
Though it is not there, yet it can be there.
It can be.
Yes. So if it can be, it
Then it
will
has to
be.
be.
It has to be.
Or Yoga Vasisth has two poles. They never have a conclusive answers. It keeps swinging between yes, maybe, or may not be.
Now, why? Because we are standing in darkness and we are discussing everything in dualistic world with our mind and intellect.
This is unseen.
We are approaching from this angle.
So there cannot be definite conclusion. I can understand.
There cannot be. There cannot be. Silence is the only language which describes everything.
Somebody described that in theater where पर्दे में picture चलती थी. So the absolute truth is like that पर्दा and the movie keeps on happening. Movie shut off, पर्दा is still there.
Yes.
People resemble that the motion picture is going on, but these are only a beam which is coming in. पर्दा तो पर्दा ही है. पर्दे पे खाली दिखता है और वो खत्म, असली भी नहीं है, लेकिन लगता भी असली सा है क्योंकि पिक्चर
वो था या नहीं था,
वो लगता भी पिक्चर है,
नहीं था तो आया कहाँ से? If it was not there, how could it come? If it was there, why was it not visible? All these questions are unsolved. Unsolved questions. Why? Because mind cannot go to that.
Mind cannot fathom this depth.
Now he says, Brahman व्यवहारवश यथा समय जो भी कर्तव्य प्राप्त हो जाते हैं उनका फलाभिलाषों को छोड़कर निरभिमान बुद्धि से केवल अनुष्ठान करता रहता हूँ. भूषण जी is explaining to Vashistha, oh Vashistha, oh great one, now my state is I am never disturbed by any means. Nothing can disturb me. Though the creations start and they disappear again, I am never disturbed by it, never influenced by it, because of my absolute state of equilibrium. Nothing can disturb me, and I have no desires. I have nothing to do. I have no desires for the result of my action. Neither I am the doer, nor I expect any fruits of the actions. And I remain uninfluenced without any worries or anxieties. शोक रहित होकर चिरकाल से जी रहा हूँ. I have no worries, no anxieties, no desires, no hope for living, nor no hope for living.
And no sorrow.
No sorrow,
No grief.
unhappiness, no happiness. I am undisturbed by any means. No means can disturb me. Undisturbed means absolute equilibrium. That is the state of the supreme truth. भगवान प्राण और अपान के संधि स्थान में. Yes, of course, he said, I have no ego whatsoever. I have no ego. That means I have lost my identity. I have lost my ID card. I have no name, no form, no ID. So what am I? I am the only ever existing existence. Existence cannot be denied. I am that. प्राण और अपान के संधि स्थान में प्रकाशित हो रहे आत्म तत्व का निरंतर ध्यान करता हुआ मैं अपनी आत्मा में स्वयं ही संतुष्ट रहता हूँ. By being aware of the effulgence between prana and apan, that means in that juncture is known as the self-effulgence. I am that. I am always in that state, and I am ever contented. Ever contented.
Effulgence का हिंदी मतलब क्या होगा?
Pardon?
Effulgence का हिंदी मतलब?
प्रकाश, ज्योति, स्वयं ज्योति, स्वयं प्रकाश. Yes. इसीलिए शोक रहित होकर चिरकाल से जी रहा हूँ. I am ever contented. Contentment gives you eternal life because you have no desires. Desirelessness is called contentment. Contented person will not have expectation, no rejection, no desires to have anything, no desires to not have anything.
Above all the desires.
Yes. So whatever comes by the way, by this imaginary world, it is accepted as a imagination. He knows the inner truth. If the enemy has come before me, he is challenging, he is killing me, means my body. I am sure it is a drama going on or some dream going on. What does it matter to me? Let the enemy kill this body or not. What does it matter to me?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to him.
He is not aware of the situation. On this, there is a beautiful example on Videha Mukta. The Videha Mukta is the great realized souls. Sadasiv Brahman. Sadasiv Brahman, the story I always quote, the story of Sadasiv Brahman. There was a great saint called Sadasiv. He was in South India, and Of course, by birth he was a great soul, and he attended that state of awareness. He forgot his body. Though he was moving about, his body will be moving about, but he was not aware of his body, Once what happened, and such persons, they cannot take care of the body also.
And he is unaware of body, how can it take?
They have no awareness of the body. So whether the body eats or not, does it responds to the call of nature or to the demand of nature, that also is not aware by the yogi. So automatically, by natural process, the body goes on for some time. Somebody gives some food, or they take care of the body.
Nature takes care.
Yes, nature takes care for some time. Then this body falls down. They become bodiless. Their existence is ever there. So in this way, this Sadasiv Brahman was seen in South India. It is not too long before. It was just say 100 years or 150 years back. He was there. And once what happened, he was nude. He had no care to
cover the body.
Cover up this body. There is nobody what to cover. He was always nude, going on. He will be going on. He will be sitting for no time he knows. If he is sitting, he is sitting. If he is walking, he will be walking. It will go on. So once he was passing by a village of Muslims, and Muslims are very, very against the nude fellows. They don't like nude fellows. So the moment he passed by the village, some youngsters, some Muslim youngsters, they looked at him. They were very much irritated, and they got together. See this Hindu yogi. He has gone by this way only to be famous or to create some irritation among us. Knowingly, come on! They took some spears, some sticks, and some swords, and they chased him. He was not running. He was just walking on, unaware of the situations. And these fellows, they went, reached him, and they surrounded him. That also was not defended by yogi.
Being unaware.
Yes. So one of these youngsters raised his sword and cut off the one arm. And the arm fell down, and it was bleeding seriously. Profusely it was bleeding. And he was not aware of it. Just as a dry leaf falls down from the tree is not aware of that falling down of
Is
the dry,
unaffected.
completely unaware. Even there was no reaction to it, nothing. He was just going on as if some dry leaf fell down from a tree. Seeing this situation, all these youngsters we are thrilled. They were very much afraid. Oh, is he a human being? How can any human being act in this way? Huh? Just as a garland falls down from the neck of an elephant, he never knows what happens. This way, he was unaware of it, and the fellows, they were very much terrified, and they thought he is some extraordinary being. He can do and undo anything and everything. So he may curse us if he is aware of his loss. We should do something. He was walking on, and these fellows were terrified. And then again they went and fell at his feet on the front. So there was no way to go. So he had to stop. He stood up, stopped walking. Then he asked, yes, what has happened? What is the matter? What do you want? Why are you stopping? Why are you falling down here? What do you need? So they got up and apologized. Oh, great one, please excuse us. We have done a blunder. We have harmed you seriously, and you are not aware of it. Please excuse us. We have done some wrong thing. What did you do? He is asking, what did you do? We cut down your arm. He did. He asked, he did. Why? Why? Now you were irritated by your nude appearance, so we did it. So what? So what? Let it go? No, we are not. We are very much sorry. So what should I do for you? What should I do for you? Do you want me to do something? Yes. What? No, that arm is. We have cut down that arm, and we should not have done this. So what should I do? Come on, tell me. Where is that arm? It is lying there. Okay? Should it be again as it was? Yes. So bring it, put it here. Just as we have fixed some parts to the toy, he said, come on, bring it, fix it here. So they did it, and there was no blood, nothing at his will. Though he has no will, yet he appears to have some will for the sake of others. Again, it appeared just as before. Are you satisfied now?
So we have आपकी की line लिखी हुई है. I will, but my will is never done. He never wills, but his will is ever done.
He has will, though he has no will. Again, he has will. So his will is ever done. So now are you satisfied? Are you happy? Yes, sir. Go your way. Go your way. And the fellows returned back, and Sadasiv went on working. Nothing happened. Such is the state of a realized soul, fully realized, established, and the absolute consciousness. Though he does not do anything, yet nothing is impossible for him. Though he has no will, no identity, yet the identity can appear. This is the right example of Sadasiva Brahman. This is not a story. This is a real incident happened on the earth, here and now. So this is what happens with these beings. They are eternal beings. Anything they can, if they want, they can keep up the body for sake of some honor or known reason. There is no reason for it. And they are ever beyond all these expectations or desires or any actions. महाराज मैंने आज यह प्राप्त किया और भविष्य में दूसरा सुंदर प्राप्त करूंगा, इस प्रकार की मुझे कभी चिंता नहीं होती, इसलिए शोक रहित होकर चिरकाल से जी रहा हूँ. O great one Vashistha, I have no expectation. I have achieved this much today. I shall get that much tomorrow. No expectation. And I have no worries. In this way, I have gone beyond happiness and unhappiness, and I am living eternally in that state of existence. हे साधु, किसी समय कहीं पर अपने या दूसरे किसी के कार्यों की न तो कुछ स्तुति करता हूँ और न कुछ निंदा ही करता हूँ, इसीलिए मैंने यह दीर्घ जीवन प्राप्त किया है. ओ ग्रेट सेंट Vashistha, neither any time I have praised anybody, nor I have defamed anybody, abused anybody. I have no concern with anyone.
So Kakabhushan ji, who's eternally living, his body is just for the namesake.
For namesake.
His already consciousness is dissolved in the universal consciousness.
Yes, it is only for namesake, for imagination sake, for play sake, for magic sake, for dream sake, for...
But will it have a pinch of I? Can we say so?
Yes, it is just like a fried seed. Seed is, appearance of the seed is there, but it is fried. It has got no
features to reincarnate again into any karmfal and subcycle.
But the appearance is there. Appearance is there. It is called so-called appearance, so-called identity, which has got nothing to do.
But inactive.
Inactive. And yet does everything. This seed is visible, but its capacity to grow is gone. अरे ये जो नसबंदी कर रखे हैं, नसबंद समझो। नसबंद कर दिया तो तुम पुरुष हो या क्या हो तुम? जब नसबंद कर रखे हो तो तुमको कोई पुरुष कहेगा और कोई स्त्री कहेगा तुमको? जो स्त्री नसबंद कर रखा है तो क्या उसको स्त्री करके कहा जा सकता है?
स्त्री करके कह सकते हैं, मगर कैपेसिटी फॉर रिप्रोडक्शन इज टफ।
साइंटिफिकली और फिजिकली as an appearance we can say yes, he is there, but purposefully he is not there.
Functionally absent.
Yes,
Functionally
because everything is present here in this creation only to multiply. The multiplication is the only application. So if you cannot multiply, your existence is purposeless.
Purposeless. Yes, this is right.
मैंने पढ़ा था कि स्वामी चिदानंद जी थे, एक बार किसी ने क्वेश्चन किया कि बिना आप ईगो के, वो तो गॉड रियलाइज थे ही, तो बिना ईगो के आई के आप कैसे अहंकार के बिना काम कैसे करते हैं? तो बोला यस, अहंकार इज देयर लाइक ए लाइन ऑन द वाटर.
Yes,
उनका आंसर था
line on the water, line on the sky. Yes,
Line in the sky.
we can divide the sky. See, the same example I want to give. See, just as we divide the sky, the sky is indivisible. Do you not divide the sky? It is Indian sky. The Pakistani drone should not enter into Indian sky.
LOC.
LOC. Yes, it happened some days back, and they shoot at it. It was destroyed. So why? Because it entered into our sky. What is how your sky is? How did you divide it? It is Indian sky, and that is Pakistani sky.
पानी की लाइन सामने दिखती है, अगर पानी में लाइन ड्रा करते हैं तो एक सेकंड के लिए दिखती है वो,
But in the sky,
वो दिखता नहीं है. खैर एक इमेजिनेशन है.
अच्छा, Indian Ocean. Indian Ocean. Now Chinese are trying to enter Indian Ocean. It is our territory. What do you mean? How can you define exactly what is your territory? Is it not imaginary? Yesterday I was seeing the news in Thailand, India and Thailand border. In that border, some village is there. Border line goes just in the midst of the village. And the head of the village, he has a house on the border. He was telling the reporter. He was telling the village head eats in India, sleeps in Thailand.
One door open in India, second door open in, back door open in Thailand.
Yes, so he does something in India and something in Thailand. That means they have got dual citizenship. They can do anything and everything for that particular village. They have citizenship of India and Thailand also. So, if you say borderline, what do you mean by borderline or demarcation of your line? It is imaginary only. This way we divide the sky, divide the water also, and we divide our properties by making some demarcating lines. All these lines are imaginary only, and this is how I am Nijaha Parubeti Gananam Lakhuchetasam Udara Charitanam Tu Vasudheva Kutumbakam. This is mine. I have my LOC up to this. This is my ashram, my boundary wall.
My room, my chair. And
This
then
is my room. This is my office and my bedroom. You cannot enter here. If these walls are broken by some earthquake, where is your bedroom? When you sleep under the sky, so we say our Lord Shankar, Digambar, the directions are his cloth, Digambar.
Swamiji, ego is a realization or it is a practice to dissolving ego?
What do you mean by ego?
Ego because it doesn't have any base. Where has it come from? And it gets stick to everywhere it is there.
See, ego is neither there nor not there. When you look at the ego, it is not there. When you don't see the ego, it is there. When you see the darkness, it is not there. When you don't see the darkness, it is there. When you put the torch to see the darkness, it is not there. And when you put off the torch, the darkness is there. It is the ego is just like that.
It's like a realization. I would call
It is something which is not there. Absence is called ego.
At the moment you realize that there is nothing, there is nothing.
Yes. And not only the ego, be aware. Not only ego is taken as absence of the present, but also your chitta, subconscious mind, inner mind, or the intellect. There is no intellect. Or your mind, or your prana, or your body, or your identity, it is not at all there. You cannot prove. You have no capacity. You never can prove your identity. And this you don't accept. Only the difference between yourself and the wise man is this, that they know it, they accept it, you don't. That's it.
Actually बड़ा simple है.
So simple.
Simple actually. इसको इतना कठिन करने की जरूरत नहीं है.
कुछ don't make it complicated. So simple. So simple. You are not aware of your awareness, whereas the wise man is aware of his awareness. That is called ever awareness or presence of mind. When the mind is at present, there is no mind. This is very hard to understand.
That means it might become a witness.
Mind becomes a witness.
Sakshi ban jata hai, mind is not there.
Mind
तो
remains.
मैं मेरा छोड़ के वो उसका वैसा
जी,
वो विटनेस की तरह काम कर रहा है.
when mind is at present, there is no mind.
There is no mind.
And similar is the case when you watch your mind.
It disappears.
When you watch your mind, you cannot see what is mind, truly speaking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And when you don't watch it, without the mind, there is no world.
There is two places for mind. One is
Neither you nor I, nor he or she. No world is there without I and without mind, or without mind.
and some is even without past and future. If there is
Yes.
no past, no future, only present remains.
Only present remains, and that present is, though we say it is momentary, it is eternal
It is eternal,
present.
Swami.
Eternal.
Eternal. It is eternal.
It
Ever
is
present.
eternal.
Ever present.
It is never changing.
Never change.
It is neither in between two nor in between anything. It is ever present and ever continued. That is called real presence, or that is called real kumbha
Real
state.
kumbha,
Real kumbha. That becomes easy and common, and it is natural for the yogis, whereas we experience by mistake, by ignorance, we experience two things, and in between some gap, and there is change. All these by misunderstanding we have accepted, and which has got no meaning at all. No meaning at all. If you put any word, bring it from anywhere on this earth, any word, I will prove it meaningless. Of any language, words are meaningless, and we understand something by hearing something from others, or concocting something by ourselves, by imagining something.
कोई भाषा संबंध
Yes, and we create some imaginary identities and
symbols, symbolic representation.
give relationship with other imaginary identities. We create the relationship imaginarily. This relativity is imaginary only. Nothing can be related with anything, truly speaking. And the absolute relationship is one with the one. One with the one. There is no second where you can relate with. So if this is understood, this state and this imaginary situations which we create for life and death and eternal being, or long living being, or quick dying being, quick dying being, all these words have no meaning. हे साधो, किसी समय कहीं पर अपने या दूसरे किसी के कार्यों में न तो कुछ स्तुति करता हूँ और न कोई निंदा करता हूँ, इसलिए मैंने यह दीर्घ जीवन प्राप्त किया. Neither I praise anyone, nor I abuse anyone, criticize anyone. I have nothing to say on anyone. In this way, I live for eternity. Maharaj, why does he say? Neither I have anything to say on anyone, positive or negative. Why? And why this can be the cause for your eternal existence?
Because he has reached the state of equilibrium and there is no duality.
No duality. No. How this particular point will be responsible or cause for your eternal existence? How? You see, when we praise somebody or abuse somebody, that means we accept somebody. We accept the so-called presence of someone.
Then only you praise.
Then we can praise or dispraise.
So when there is no acceptance, no presence, there is no praise.
So if you don't accept any other presence, that means you don't accept dualism. So you are one and you are eternally present. This is how you have to understand how it is cause for your eternal existence. Whatever he says, they are the cause for the eternal existence. Mune, I have no expectation, no non-expectation. If you accept some object, expect or accept, that means you have admitted, agreed the existence of the object.
Presence of the other.
Yes. This way, you don't agree, neither you feel the existence. So you are always on
very steady equilibrium.
Yes, unmoved,
unperturbed, undisturbed.
Yes. When you don't kaha ichha or anichha, I have no wish, no wish. So both are not there, means wish for some object. So that objectivity of the world is not agreed.
Objectivity of the world is not agreed.
Agreed. So there is no world.
There is no world. The world dissolves.
Yes. So you are always one and remain as one eternally. So all these are the obstacles in your path of eternal life. And so we can say all these destroy your or influence your life. That means they are the cause for your death.
So can we say when mind moves, the world starts?
Yes.
And the mind becomes stable,
yes.
World dissolves.
Yes. That is the state of meditation. So when you accept this and have a relationship with the sense objects, that means you are causing death for your eternal life. You are causing your death.
I am causing.
Yes. When you accept the body or growth of the body, then decay of the body. When growth is there, decay will be there. The birth is there, means death will be there. That means acceptance of this object of this sense. Acceptance. If you don't accept, no relationship, no influence, no question at all, you are the existence absolute. So your eternal life is never hampered, never influenced. You have no death. Where is the question of birth again? You have no death, you have no birth. So we have started everything from the process of pranayam. Pranayam is the process. He explains. महर्षि मेरा मन तुष्ट, मेरा मन इष्ट वस्तुओं की प्राप्ति होने पर न संतुष्ट होता है और न तो अनिष्ट वस्तुओं की प्राप्ति होने पर कभी खिन्न नहीं होता है। वह निरंतर एक रूप ही रहता है, इसलिए मैं दीर्घ जीवन को प्राप्त किया हूँ। These facts what he is giving us, of course, they are very, very important facts and figures. But for the realized soul, it has got no meaning at all. No meaning at all. Just as the elderly persons have no meaning for the useless toys of the children. Or useless gossiping of the small children getting together and fighting among themselves and loving each other or gossiping together. The elderly persons have no sense in it. They overlook it. They don't give any importance. Oh, children, they are playing. They don't give any importance. So also, though these facts, these crucial points he has given us, every point is to be explained thoroughly and understood thoroughly how they are cause for eternal life. Yet they have no meaning for all this. We have so much importance. He says, I never get, I don't get happy by the
Eternalness?
No. When I get or something comes, what I need, what I expect, because I have no expectation. So whatever comes by the way, if at all it is expected, I never get happy if it comes. I never get sorrow if it doesn't come. That means, of course, very beginning, I have no expectation. So whatever comes, it is not expected, unexpected.
I'm not happy nor unhappy, irrespective whether it comes or not.
Yes. Whether it comes or not, whatever comes, whether it is wanted or not wanted, all these questions are not there.
Dissolved.
No desire any Swamiji.
No
Desire are extinguished.
Yes. So how can I say it is expected or unexpected? I never get irritated, never get happy. क्योंकि समस्त द्वैतवाद रूप उत्तम त्याग का अवलंबन कर सर्वदा ही जीवनाभिमान आदि सभी वस्तुओं का मैंने परित्याग कर दिया, अतः इस दीर्घ जीवन को प्राप्त हुआ हूँ. This point is most important point. After telling all this, he is giving the essence. What does he say? Because I have given up the idea of dualistic world. There is no dualism. There is no dualism. I have given up the idea of dualism. That is the cause for eternal life. That is what we were discussing before it.
No duality.
No duality. So you are eternal being. क्योंकि समस्त द्वैत बाध रूप, this dualism is a hindrance,
A barrier between the
a
samasta.
barrier to have an eternal life. This becomes barrier. Dualism means it divides your life. Not only worldly objects, when you get associated with the worldly objects, then your life also, your association is divided. Your life also is divided. Because your prana only prompts your mind to prompt the senses to associate with the object.
So when the association gets cut off, the duality vanishes.
Dualism is vanished. Because I don't accept dualism, that's why I have singularism. That is called eternal life. ये द्वैत बाध रूप उत्तम त्याग. द्वैत जो है वो बाधा डालता है. Your dualism is an obstacle on the path of eternal life. I have given it up. So I have no ego also. जीवन अभिमान नहीं है. I have no ego of life. Then what do you mean by life? Life means a progress.
Motion.
Life means a motion, a progress, evolution process. It cannot keep quiet. It has to go on continuously. So, what happens? Because there is no motion, because there is no dualism, there is no motion. Because there is no motion or action or inaction or reaction, nothing is there. So, there is no ego of it. Now, this angle says,
Explains about the ego from this angle.
yes, when there is no ego, there is no question of appearance or disappearance. If at all you see the universe, it is created, then it is created. My ego is there. You see my ego. If you don't see the creation, I have no ego.
Only this ego then separate ourselves from absolute.
Yes.
वही घट आकाश और वो आकाश,
हाँ,
तो खाली घट का बनाया हुआ, जिधर जहाँ तोड़ा वो तो एक ही है.
एक ही है.
वो तो बहुत क्लासिक एग्जांपल है, घट आकाश और वो आकाश.
घट को तोड़ देने से वो आकाश का हुआ क्या? When you break down your limitation of the pot, what happens to the sky? Does it go somewhere to unite with the outside sky? Or when you put the empty pot, does the sky enter into it? It is ever present. There is no question of going out or coming in. It is ever present. Time. So in this way, when the idea of dualism is lost forever, you have an eternal life. No question of appearance or disappearance. In this way, I live eternally. I have an eternal life. And this eternal life has got no meaning. Finally, there is no meaning.
This is the icing on the cake, Swamiji. Icing on the cake. Right from the beginning, we were discussing. Now it has no meaning. We were discussing the ways to achieve the eternity. Now the eternity has no meaning.
No meaning. What do you mean then? It cannot mean anything. So it is meaningless. So existence also, it is a word to define or to give you some idea because you are a fool. Don't mistake me. Because you are in the utter darkness. So some ray of light that is known as existence absolute. That ray of light
Swamiji
is named or defined as or word given to it as existence absolute.
जो चीज है नहीं हम पूरी ताकत से प्रूव कर रहे हैं कि नहीं है जो है ही नहीं
वो इटर्निटी भी बोल रहे वो भी नहीं वो भी खाली
एटर्निटी तो एक शब्द है
स्टेट भी नहीं अवस्था भी नहीं
कुछ डिफाइन नहीं कर सकते हैं
उसको डिफाइन ही नहीं मतलब
वो ठीक है बट जो है ही नहीं उसको हम प्रूव करने में लगे हैं कि नहीं
Can you have any meaning of endless? How can you give some meaning? Because it is endless.
बात तो सही है
To have some idea, we use some words, giving some meaning to it forcibly. This word has got this meaning.
Like we cannot define infinite, endless,
yes,
limitless,
and all.
All.
What do you mean by all? Has it got any limitation? What do you mean by unlimited? And that's how. What do you mean by absence? It is meaningless. And we want to prove it. Give some meaning. This is why I said, because you are a fool. I have to become a fool to make you a real fool, a full fool.
Fool to fool.
If two FWL get together, what do they become?
Full.
Whether FWL or FULL. Anyhow. So tomorrow we shall see further how is called eternal life. What is the meaning of eternal life? And don't think I shall say it emphatically. Don't think this is meaningless. Don't think this is useless to discuss all these things, meaningless things. When you understand the meaninglessness of the meaningless, when you understand the meaninglessness of the meaningless discussions, your mind will keep quiet. This is the usefulness. This is the achievement. When you think. I cannot think. Then only you can stop thinking. When you think, I can think, then how can you? When you do think, how can you stop thinking? I am thinking to stop thinking. Never you can stop thinking.
Idea of Yoga Vashistha is don't think, just be silent. That's it.
मैं तो तभी कहता चुप चुप keep quiet, don't speak.
But keep quiet.
If you understand, जैसे आपने बोला, if you understand the meaninglessness of the meaningless,
when you understand the meaning of meaninglessness of meaningless discussions,
How can it be meaningless?
then be quiet
then
and silent.
you can keep quiet or else you cannot.
How can it be meaningless?
So all these meaningless discussions will lead you to the absolute silence. This is the gain. This is the gain. Don't think all these meaningless discussions are useless. It is useless. Thank you. We shall see tomorrow. Bye. Hari Om. Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnada Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. Satchidananda Bhagavan ki jai. Sabda Brahma ki jai. Saraswati Maharani ki jai. Yoga Vashistha Bhagavan ki jai.
Swami ji, उनके हो जो
Hare Om.
Swami ji हमारे जो इंटरनेशनल